Hey guys, today I just wanted to make a quick video on a cool little model I just picked up. This is the Konami, it's like movie SF series, I believe is what it's called, but it's just a little prize bag toy of a Cheyenne Dropship from the Aliens movie. It's a pretty rare little model from 2004 that I thought was cool enough to warrant its own video. First off, we'll just look at the base. They give you a little bit of LV426 terrain. I like the mud, and it's properly colored. Mine's a little warped. I don't know if they're all like that. I would assume it's just mine. And then there's a look at the underside. Cool little bit of framing for your awesome little ship model. Now, in case it's not apparent, this thing is tiny. Here's my hand compared to the rest of it. I don't have small hands, so this is pretty big, or pretty small. First off, I'll give you a look at the paint. The paint is actually pretty remarkable. You can see the little bug stomper. I believe this one's called, because it's the #1 from earlier in the movie. You can see the little bug stomper logo. And they actually painted in the lights on the front, right there. And then the black line on this edge here. And then on the sides, oh, that happens a lot. I'll go ahead and show you how the landing gear comes out. There's just a little peg, and you just sort of friction fit it in there like that. This one in particular doesn't like to stay too well. There's the side, underside. I'm not crazy on the giant fox logo, copyright on the bottom, but what are you gonna do? There's more along the edge. You can see it's in 2 main chunks, and I think it's glued together. There's the back. They painted in the engines, which is pretty cool for something this small. And there's the top. I'll go more in depth on the decals and paint later. There's a surprising amount of playability on this thing. As I already showed you, this thing just sort of pops off the front landing gear, just like that. And then the back one slots in like that, and just the whole thing comes out as one big assembly. And there's a surprising amount of detail on these tiny little skids. They did such a good job on this microscopic little model. Another look from the top. As you can see, the missile pods up here don't want to move any further than that, but that's pretty close to how they are in the movie, so I'm perfectly happy with it. And the mechanism is pretty simple in there, but it works very well. You just slide them over like that. This one doesn't want to seat very well, but for how small this thing is, I think that's pretty forgivable. Looks pretty good. And then these are actually separate pieces that you just kind of wedge into this hole there. So small, it's hard to manage. And then they just fold up like that. And you can actually see they printed. I actually can't read that even through the camera, these little decals, but just the fact that they're there at all is extremely impressive. And of course the same one does that. So it's a pretty incredible little model for how big it is. I mean, or how small it is. You would assume, just looking at this thing, that it'd be a lot bigger than the palm of your hand, but it really isn't. This thing is just so tiny. And the windows are painted pretty well. I would say, I mean, most of you probably heard of the Cinemachines version, the one with the little bay that comes out and then the APC drives with the little button right here. And I would say that the paint on this one is 10 times better than that one. And this thing is, a third the size. It's a really remarkable little model. And I wish they were easier to get your hands on, because I'd like to get a few more of these. I'll probably make a video comparing this one to the Cinemachines version if I ever actually get my hands on that one, because they're so rare now. It's really friggin' hard to get your hands on commercially available Cheyenne Dropship model, so it's always a treat when you do get one. I'm going to go ahead and compare it to the Action Fleet version that I have, just to really show you how small this thing is. It could fit inside of the Action Fleet version. Of course, the Action Fleet version is much more chunky and less faithful to the movie, but for how old this thing is, you can really sort of excuse it. It's also not really their biggest worry is not to make it completely accurate, but to have it be as playable as possible. And for how old this toy is, I think it's pretty impressive what they did. But there's your size comparison, just to really show you the scale of this thing. But that's really it to show for this little guy. I'll probably be coming back at you guys with some more videos in the near future. I just need to find, things that interest me to make videos on. That's really my primary goal. And I want to give people, a really solid, detailed look at a lot of ships that don't get a lot of love. And I thought this one would be perfect for a video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching.